Now, here's part 3 to this. Black people stop blaming the white man for your problems. Because I left out a couple of things. I pay child support. As a matter of fact, I had to get my license back. Child support took my license for, not paying child support. But at the time, I didn't have a job. And what I found so ironic about that is that usually when you have a job, you don't even have to tell them you're working. They find your ass within 3 to 6 weeks of you being employed. You know what I'm saying? But at the time I was in school, which was something else that struck me as ironic. Because, I've been in child support court a couple of times. And there have been some times I had to sit in there and listen to other cases before they got to mine. And one of the things that I've always noticed was that if you ain't paid child support in 2-3 years, the judge would, and you say it was because you didn't have a job, the judge would expect for you to have a very good answer for, well, Mr. or Mrs., what have you been doing for 3 years if you ain't been working? You did. So I noticed that that's always been important in court, because sometimes a judge may not necessarily knock you for not paying child support, for not having a job, but as long as you can back up why or what you've been doing. So the point I'm trying to make is I was in school. I wasn't working, but I was in school. And I'm talking about the entire time that I wasn't paying. I was either going to school to get my GED or I was going to school to fix cars. You dig? But the bottom line is I was in school. So I ended up going to school, graduating with no license. I can't get a job fix cars because I ain't a fucking license. I knew this when I was in school because they suspended my license in school. I was still in school. I'm like, I thought that was the dumbest shit in the world. I'm going to school to try to provide a better way for myself and my shorties. And you fucking take what I need, but that's neither here nor there. I just wanted to point out a couple of things, man. I'm not a felon. I've never been tried, convicted of a felony. I paid child support. I had to fight to get my license back. Okay, and I got it back. I'm not on welfare. I don't get no link card. Once again, it's link card in Illinois, to the rest of the world or the rest of the country is motherfucking food stamps. You dig? I don't get none of that shit. I don't get no public assistance. I work part-time, but I work. And then what's so funny about that is with the amount of money I make and the amount of hours that I work, I can go get a link card. They would approve me a link card. Now I probably wouldn't get the standard $200 that they give a man who ain't got a job. It'll probably be lower than that. But I still get a link card. They give me one. I know they would. So now the question becomes, well, Tank, if you working XYZ amount of hours and you making this kind of money per hour, why you want to go get a link card? Because I don't want the shit. I don't want it. You know what I'm saying? My girl and my mama used to call me stupid years ago for when I would get fired from a job, I wouldn't go file unemployment. It took me a long time to get food stamps. A long time because I refused to go get it. I don't want the shit. And even with all that being said, I still say y'all got life fucked up when y'all saying that stop blaming the black man, the white man for your problems and blah, blah, blah. I ain't no felon. I ain't up in no prison. I don't get welfare. I pay child support. And I still disagree with that shit y'all talking. You ain't looking at some motherfucker that's walking around with his pants hanging off his ass and every other word that come out his mouth is, you know what I'm saying. And this ain't the type of motherfucker you dealing with. And I still disagree. Like how I said, how many of you motherfuckers who say stop blaming the white man for your motherfucking problems, how many of y'all hold the white man accountable for the shit that they do? How many of y'all thought it was okay for Sarah Palin to say, hey man, my daughter pregnant, she made a mistake, but that's our business, that shouldn't have nothing to do with this election? But then you don't get mad when they turn around because they honored that. I don't know if people paid that shit no attention. When she came forward and said what she said, they honored it. Motherfuckers start talking about her daughter during the election. You feel me? But the same black folks that say stop blaming the white man for your problems and your faults and shit, how many of y'all get outraged for them calling a 16-year-old girl a slut for getting pregnant, a little 16-year-old black girl a slut for getting pregnant? How many of y'all get outraged by that? It's okay for y'all not to dip and dabble in Sarah Palin's daughter's business, you dig? Y'all accepted her saying, oh, it ain't none of your business. But then y'all don't say nothing about the fact of them calling little Latino girls or little black girls sluts and whores because they get pregnant at 16. So my question becomes, is Sarah Palin's daughter a slut? Is Sarah Palin's daughter a whore because she got pregnant at 16? I'm saying help me out here. Now we know that 9 times out of 10, the little baby ain't on welfare because her mama rich. Her mama rich and so is her daddy. You know what I'm saying? Do y'all get outraged by these little 16-year-old white girls that live in these trailer parks that got babies and they on welfare? Do you stand up and say, I'm sick and tired of taking care of these little white babies? Because what you don't understand is, as a taxpayer, you take care of all the babies on welfare, not just the black ones. But yet, these motherfucking so-called pro-black men and women will sit up here and say, I'm sick and tired of y'all having all these motherfucking babies. I'm tired of y'all these babies on welfare. I'm sick and tired of taking care of the people's kids. But you don't say shit about the little white girls who have babies and they on welfare. You know, and that's why I said, man, I challenge any one of you clown ass motherfuckers to a debate, man. I challenge any one of y'all to a debate. Because what you gotta understand is that, for one, you don't hold the white man accountable for the shit that he does. Okay? Nobody's ever held George Bush accountable for 9/11. Everybody know 9/11 was some. The only thing I can say is more to it than what they told us. I won't go into my own opinions, and you know, I'll say that for another video. You know what I'm saying? But the fact of the matter is, there was some bullshit somewhere down the line. There was some treachery. There was some trickery in that shit. How many of you motherfucking black folks who say stop holding the white man accountable for your problems, how many of y'all hold George Bush responsible for that? For 9/11? Now, everybody and their motherfucking mama know, okay, that the situation with going to war in Iraq was bogus. Bogus. Everybody knows this. Which one of you motherfucking Negroes that's sitting up here talking about stop blaming the white man for your motherfucking actions, which one of you motherfucking Negroes is holding them accountable for going into Iraq, spending billions of dollars a month, taking billions of dollars of our motherfucking money? Here it is, you can bitch and talk shit about a motherfucker having to take care of a baby that's on welfare, but you ain't stepped to the government about them spending billions of dollars of your motherfucking money. You know how much jet fuel costs? You know how much it costs to make them bombs? You know how much it costs to drop them bombs in them countries? Taxpayers pay for a lot of that. Now, they say that the rich folks are predominantly responsible for wars. You know what I'm saying? Okay, but you still got to understand that a lot of the tax man, you know, John Q. Public, the average working taxpayer, a lot of they funded that shit, man. Don't nobody talk about that. That's my thing. How's you gonna say stop blaming the white man for your motherfucking problems? But that's it. You don't talk about nothing else, man. You don't talk about Tulsa, Oklahoma in 1931 when the black folks was responsible for their own stock market. And the white boys came back from World War I. They ain't had no jobs. They was uneducated. They saw how the motherfucking niggas was living in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And they went in the city and burnt the motherfucking spot where the black men and women were living. They burnt shit to the ground, man. Burnt it to the ground. They wouldn't let the fire department in there. They wouldn't do nothing, man. They wouldn't call the National Guard. They wouldn't do shit. And them black people were living in mansions, man. Them black people were living in fucking mansions, man. And they went from house to house, man, exterminating, man. Here it is. Could you imagine being a black man running from your own crib? Motherfucker ran up in your mansion and you run and you flee your own home? Could you imagine Jay-Z going through some shit like that? Could you imagine Bill Cosby or Oprah Winfrey living in that big-ass 30-room crib they got and the motherfucker coming in their crib with pistols and setting the house on fire and Bill Cosby fleeing his own crib? Could you imagine that? But don't nobody talk about that. Why you talking about black folks need to get off their ass and they need to stop this, that, and the other and blah, blah, blah. Remember the movie Harlem Nights? Eddie Murphy and Richard Pryor and all them cats? Well, what a lot of motherfuckers don't know because they refuse to teach motherfuckers. But you saw how clean and how sharp them niggas was. You saw how prominent they was. You saw Della Reese in the movie. Black people used to live like that. We used to live like that, man. Them motherfuckers, in every scene in Harlem Nights, the niggas had on the flyest suits I ever seen. In every scene in the movie, everybody, Red Fox, everybody was clean than a needle dick dog in that movie. Black folks used to live like that, man. What, you think we just willingly gave that shit up? Come on, man. That be the thing that killed me, man. Now, I'm not, again, black women wear too much fucking weave. Black women wear too much makeup. Black women wear contact lenses and all this bullshit. Why is that a problem in the black community? Because it gives a person a sense, young people, it gives them a sense of false identity. And that a false identity is never good when you're trying to rise above the treachery that you in. Okay, black men walk around with their pants hanging off their ass, and I had young brothers say shit like, well, stop looking at my ass then. You showing your ass and somebody looking at your ass is two different things. Two different things. Because I don't have to be looking to see it. It's a big difference. Okay? My thing is, I tell any young brother, don't go to Harvard. Don't go to these fucking white folk schools. Don't go there. Self-educate yourself, man. Educate yourself. Educate your motherfucking self. You wouldn't be surprised. Before I got my GED and went on to school to fix cars and all this other bullshit, you'd be surprised the kind of jobs I held with no motherfucking education. No education. And I'm talking about, man, I worked. Now, don't misunderstand me. I lied to get the job, but so fucking what? I worked side by side with people with master's degrees, and they could not outwork me. They were not smarter than me. And when I opened myself up to that and I experienced that, I said, man, you get the fuck away from me. I didn't work at schools. I'm talking about universities, man. Motherfucker, you ain't got no GED. What the fuck you doing working in the university and you ain't sweeping up or washing windows or something? Fuck you doing in here? And I worked side by side with people with master's degrees, and I performed, and in a lot of situations, I excelled them. And these motherfuckers have bachelor's degrees. I ain't got no GED. I'm talking about this is all prior. Because I got a GED now. I went to school, got a fucking associates in applied science and shit. But this was all before that. All before that. I worked side by side with motherfuckers with master's degrees and psychology degrees, and I worked just as hard as them. So that's my thing, man. That's the thing that I'm talking about, man. If you're gonna talk about it all, man. Talk about everything. It's not just black people. Are we a big problem? Yeah, but like I told you, like I explained to you, black folks go back to the way they was in the 20s or in the 60s. Watch and see white folks' true colors. White folks showing their true colors is partially one of the responsible things that make them responsible for what's going on today. They showed their true colors and they scared the shit out of the Al Sharptons by killing Medgar Evers. They scared the shit out of Jesse Jackson Jr. Jesse Jackson by killing Martin Luther King practically within feet of Jesse Jackson. A lot of people don't pay that shit no attention. Motherfuckers, don't misunderstand, Jesse Jackson was a clown ass nigga, and I'd rather just die than to sell out. But you gotta understand, man, they blew Martin Luther King brains out within feet of him. He was with the man when they killed him. Al Sharpton and them marched with this cat, man. They knew the man personally. Did they blow his fucking brains out? Now, don't misunderstand me. That's not an excuse for them committing treason on their own people. It's not. But motherfuckers, they don't talk about everything. Farrakhan, and Farrakhan is a joke in a lot of ways. He is. Him and Malcolm X were close. They knew each other very well. And they fucked that man up, man. They fucked Malcolm X up, man, in front of his family, man. Damn. That's no excuse for the treason that Farrakhan has committed against his people. But what I'm saying is, man, if you're going to talk about something, talk about everything. Everybody know the CIA and the FBI was responsible for Malcolm X's murder. Everybody know it. Everybody know that the CIA and the FBI was behind Fred Hampton's murder, man. Everybody know that shit. Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, Kennedy, Medgar Evers, all them cats, man. They know that the FBI and the CIA was behind that shit. They know it. But you don't hold nobody responsible for that. That's the thing. Nobody has ever really paid the price for Malcolm X's murder. Yeah, they sent a couple of brothers to prison, but man, they motherfuckers didn't really pay for that shit. They didn't. Because they weren't the only ones involved. Come on, man, think about it. Lee Harvey Oswald killed motherfucking John Kennedy, and then Jack Ruby walked right up on Lee Harvey Oswald on national motherfucking TV and put a couple on him in front of police, motherfucking news reporters, the whole 9 yards, man. But you sitting up here talking about the white man can't be blamed, man. Get the fuck out of here. What the fuck are you saying? Like how I just said a minute ago, man, I challenge any black man or woman to a debate. Because I know when it come down to you debate me on this, whatever your facts, whatever your topics is, will not stand. They won't. Beware of a wolf in sheep's clothing. Inwardly, Oh, I done fucked up the whole saying. But nevertheless, motherfuckers understand my point. Beware of a wolf in sheep's clothing. Inwardly, they are raging wolves. Ye shall know them by their fruit. A good tree cannot produce bad fruit, and a bad fruit cannot produce good. A bad tree cannot produce good fruit, man. And that's just the bottom motherfucking line, man. White folks are incognito with they shit now because they don't have to be on the forefront no more. They don't have to orchestrate organizations like the Klan no more, because a lot of this shit that we doing it to ourselves, but we being programmed. We have been systematically programmed from birth. Nobody talk. The only motherfucker I know that really talks about that is the woman that's the author of the ISIS papers, Dr. Frances Cress Riesling. That's the only fucking black person I ever heard talk about the psychological aspect of black on black crime, the psychological aspect of kids having kids, and all these motherfuckers having babies, and men ain't taking care of them, and all this shit. She the only motherfucker, man, that I ever seen touch bases on that. But you motherfuckers who say that the black man and the white man ain't responsible for what's going on with that would be the topic of my debate. The psychological aspect of what's going on, because that shit was planted there by us. In order for you to be programmed and to be unprogrammed, something has to happen. And that's just the bottom line. I'm not letting black folks off the hook. You got more coon ass niggas out here today than anything. You got more motherfucking black folks that we're living in the richest generation of black folks this country has ever seen, but yet we worse off than we was during the Great Depression. A lot of that, a ton of that is by our own hands. Because what a lot of motherfuckers don't understand is that if you don't invest in your own motherfucking people, I don't give a fuck what your excuse is for not investing in your own people. If you don't invest in your own people, expect this kind of shit from your people as a whole. Period. I tell Jay-Z that. I tell Bill Cosby. I tell any motherfucking body that, man. Anybody. They don't talk about the motherfucking drugs that they put in our motherfucking community during the Vietnam War, during the 60s, during the Civil Rights Movement. They don't talk a lot about the psychological aspect of how niggas started using drugs during that time anyway. They don't talk about this. And that be I'm just saying, talk about everything, man. Talk about every motherfucking thing. We don't put guns in our motherfucking community. Can't nobody make me pick up a gun. Just like the motherfucker who shot me. Then nobody make that motherfucker shoot me. But the bottom line is that if he had more access to a motherfucking school than he did a motherfucking gun, 9 times out of 10 that shit wouldn't have happened. But who's responsible for schools and guns? It ain't us. I understand that we don't have to fucking pick up the gun, but we ain't responsible for them being there. And that's a problem. That is a huge fucking problem. My thing is that in order for you to take the guns out of these young brothers' hands, you gotta kill where it comes from. And once you get into where the guns come from, you see less and less of us as you climb up that ladder, and you see more and more of them. It's no different with the drug gang. Drug testing for drug testing for jobs is the biggest fucking joke. The biggest fucking joke, because everybody know, and if you don't know, let me plug you. They testing for marijuana. Marijuana is the most famous, the most popular, and the most worldwide drug used in the world. Aside from that, nothing else stay in your system longer than 3 days. So how the fuck you testing me for cocaine? Motherfucker, I just beamed up to Scotty on Thursday. Today, Monday, I'm finna take the fucking drug test. That shit ain't in my goddamn system. The only thing that come out of your system faster than heroin and cocaine and all that shit is alcohol. Weed stay in your system longer than any other motherfucking drug on the planet. But yet, there's been more things that are useful for marijuana than cocaine and heroin and all this other shit combined. Bayer is the first company. Bayer, the aspirin people, was the first fucking company to manufacture heroin in this motherfucking country. You got more prescription drugs here it is today, you got more prescription drugs that's killing motherfuckers than cocaine. But stop blaming the white man for your problem. Get the fuck out of here. Point blank in the story.